First of all, introducing our challenger.
Out of the blue corner.
He's going to step in and he does. It's all over.
Let's bring on the boom.
This is Eternal MMA.
All right, MMA fans, let's kick it off here with a quick special edition on Eternal Insiders Podcast. My name is Luke, and as always, I'm your host, and I'm joined in this one by none other than your Eternal Lightweight champion, Mr. Quillan Salkilld. Joining me here fresh off some very exciting news he's going to share with us in the last 24 hours. You may have seen it on social media, but it's big news, so we're going to talk about it again. Quillan has got himself a fight booked on August 27th on the road to the UFC show in Singapore, facing off against a Korean opponent, another champion himself from another promotion. So we're here to talk to Quillan about it. Quillan, I've got some questions for you. I'd love to know everything about how it sort of went down, man. Can you maybe just tell us a little bit about how you found out about this opportunity going down? When did you find out about it? What can you tell us about what you know?
G'day, Luke. About a week ago, I got a call from my manager, Jasmine Frank. She said she had some news, and then she come around to my place and told me in person, and I was ecstatic. She got an email from Sean Shelby saying there's a matchup offered. It's a non-tournament lightweight bout on the next Road to UFC card, and then pretty much asking if I had a valid passport and can I make weight, and in the heartbeat I said yes.
You said hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to turn
brother.
up an opportunity like this.
Of course. So with that sort of thing you're just saying there, that Sean Shelby sort of reached out and asked if you're available, like how does that process sort of come about? Is this just something in terms of their scouting network? They're already sort of familiar with what's going on. Is that part of your management team sort of working behind the scenes for you? I mean, that's so cool. I mean, so young in your career and you've already got the UFC brass reaching out for an opportunity like this for you.
Yeah, it's great to know that there's eyes on me, and then obviously short notice. So there's, obviously most likely been a pullout, and then they seen the matchup, and on paper looks great. Korean champion versus Australian champion.
Well, you did say last time we talked, man, that you like the idea of having a big old target on your back, and here we are with this big old target on your back now, going for a Road to UFC show. This is pretty cool news.
That's it. Great news, This is what I've been planning all along. It's come quite sooner than I expected, but I'll take the challenge nonetheless.
Now, you said this is sort of on short notice, so just if you mentioned it there, pardon me, but like how short notice are we talking? I mean, we're going in obviously August 27th, so we're talking about this month. Like, when was it you actually found out? Like, this is really sort of soon. Were you in camp? Were you preparing for something like this? Give us the details.
I found out this time last week, so short notice, pretty much 3 weeks notice.
And to your knowledge, is this sort of usual? Like, I know this Road to the UFC thing is a pretty sort of new concept. We've had Sean Etchell, obviously a former champion from Eternal MMA. He's sort of gone over and done that thing. But is this the sort of thing, and most of the fighters, to your knowledge, finding out this late, or is this just sort of something they've kind of got you in on late notice, and this is kind of how they do it?
I have no clue.
Just a whirlwind right now.
Don't care. Yeah, no clue.
Don't know at this stage. That's okay. But anything in terms of what you know about your opponent, man, like we said, facing Jae Hyun Park, I believe his name is. Like you just said, a Korean champion, 6-1 record himself. So both of you guys pretty young in your career. Have you had a chance in this whirlwind last week or so to have a look at him and what he's about? What do you know about him, if anything at all?
Yeah, I watched a few of his fights. I had to look at what he has to offer. And I'm very confident in this matchup. We are very similar, like our in terms of our careers. We're very, very young. We both lost our very first pro fight. We've gone on a tear since, and both of our last fights we both won. Our championship belts. So it's a very cool matchup.
Yeah, of course, yourself coming off that big first round win against Blake Dolly to win that championship at Eternal 76. So, obviously a huge highlight reel for yourself. If that was sort of the catalyst for what had the guys for the UFC to reach out to you, I mean, what a knockout to come off this and keep that momentum going into the Road to the UFC. Very cool thing. I did want to ask you as well, you mentioned at the start, this is a single fight bout. Now, the Road to the UFC, to my knowledge, is normally a tournament sort of style, where the winners progress to a round-robin tournament and ultimately the winner ends up with a UFC contract. this is a single bout matchup. What do you sort of know about the details of what's potentially on offer there in terms of potentially you looking good in that fight and what they might offer beyond that? What details do you know?
I have no clue. I just know I want to rock up. I'm going to put on a great performance, and I know with the performance I'm going to put on there, they're gonna want me. I know the UFC is going to be really interested in me after this. So whether they want to whatever keep me on or do whatever, I don't know. We'll come to that when it happens. But as far as I'm concerned, I want to really open some eyes and turn some heads.
No, man, we're used to seeing that from you already, man, in such a young career. I mean, already the lightweight champion at 4-1 for Eternal MMA. Huge things, I mean, especially in this lightweight division. You can attest to that. I mean, just how big the lightweight division is in Australia. I mean, the whole world around. But, I mean, this is an absolute shark tank here. What an opportunity for yourself to be able to go across and do something like this. But, I mean, on that, as you said, I mean, it's two champions going in against each other. You remain the eternal lightweight champion regardless. So, I mean, you go over there, you got an opportunity to impress the UFC. Maybe they sort of come knocking for a contract after that. I mean, maybe you look good and you still got opportunities to potentially defend your belt here for Eternal MMA. We know we've got that David Martinez fight coming up against Jack Becker at Eternal 78 in Sydney. So, I mean, that's being billed as a number one contender fight in its own right. So, I mean, safe to say, beyond this, man, I mean, there's just so many options for you. It's a very exciting time in your career, no matter what, moving forward.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's perfect timing this fight because like you said, the Becker and Martinez are fighting in September, which means I would have had to wait till end of October, and I'm ready to fight now. So the timing of this fight is perfect.
Absolutely perfect time, man. And how is everything going over there for you in your training? I mean, you just said it was obviously short notice, but I mean, are you the type of guy you're always in the gym? I'm sure you are always in the gym. You're staying ready. I mean, there's all the big talk about fight camps and that sort of thing, but I have to assume if they're calling you ready to go, you're staying ready at all times.
I'm always ready. I can fight in a heartbeat, a moment's notice. I'm always ready, always in shape. I feel absolutely great. Like if not even better because it's like a really short camp. So I'm just pretty much going to spend 2 weeks to peak, and I'm ready to go.
And we're right behind you, brother. It's extremely exciting news. Road to the UFC. August 27, no doubt it's going to be live on UFC Fight Pass. Quillan Salkilld, still your eternal MMA lightweight champion. And who knows what the future holds for him. Maybe he impresses in this fight. We know he's going to impress in this fight, and who knows beyond that. Yeah. And we're seeing the lightweights from Australia going across. We just had Tom Nolan going over and doing his thing on Dana White's Contender Series. So let's see what happens in the future for you, man. But, I mean, this is absolutely amazing news. Can't wait for it to go down. August 27, like we said, make sure you tune in for that one. And we'll see you on the other side, my friend. Thanks for coming on the pod and sharing the news, and all the best for August 27.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure, brother.